Hello, hello. Do a quick mic check. Which one was so delayed? Oh, it's YouTube today. Huh, interesting. Usually about the same. Today YouTube seems to be a little behind. Okay, 1 second here. Okay. All right. Whatever. Doesn't matter that much. All right. All righty. How's everyone doing today? Everyone having a good weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. Anyone doing anything for that? Alrighty. Alright. Okay. I'm not muted. Great. Hey everyone. See how today goes. I'm a little on the tired side today, for whatever reason. Hey Des. There you are. Yep. How you doing today? Everything should be dry. Yeah. Alright. I'll start with a quick oil out, then some minor corrections, and then we'll see. I think I'll be able to get to the um, interference paint today. I don't know how well it will translate on screen, unfortunately. but we'll see. This is doing okay. Good to hear that. Glad you're doing good. Just gonna oil out real quick. We'll see how my stamina is doing today. I did kind of throw out part of my back this week, so we'll see you know, how well I do painting today. I had to like rush to the chiropractor on Friday because I was in so much pain. I have a problem where like I don't know. They tell me it's the muscles in between my ribs that like pulls on my ribs so that like they I don't know, pull out of alignment or whatever and causes the pain. I don't know. Very unpleasant though. I will say that. Yeah, that was a little too dark. So right now I'm just trying to correct some things that were, slightly out of position. I'm starting with the easier stuff. I'll make my way to the, you know, more important detailed areas kind of thing. All right. this part, like the floor that's like reflecting is such a weird spot here. Yeah, I forgot that today's Valentine's Day. I think it might be a slow stream today. I don't know how many people are, you know, considering Valentine's Day. I generally don't consider Valentine's Day. It just feels like such a manufactured, you thing. But some people care, so we'll see. All right, let's see what else here needs to be kind of done. Uh, I know the face needs some work, but like I said, I'm warming up, so work my way to that. Um, I know it doesn't matter as much with subjects like this, but like the exact pattern isn't as crucial, but I still like to get close. And yeah, the orange is way overblown. That's not really like I am pushing the color a bit, but that's the kind of the point. That might be too dark, but I will go in and lighten it. All right. So completely unrelated to painting, I did start playing Sekiro, or started again, I should say, because I did try once. That game is really hard. The thing that gets me about that game is, or that I like don't like about that game, is how kind of janky some of it is, and some of the like mechanics in it. Just like I want to do one thing and it does something else, It's stuff like that that's very, very frustrating. And I've only heard the game ever praised for stuff, for like how good it handles. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, in some capacity, but like I'm really getting frustrated with that stuff. And I don't get that as much on like Elden Ring. I know this might not interest everybody, but I don't know. Right now I'm just trying to correct some of the, stuff on the painting. I don't know exactly what to say. I'm just trying to get the placement right of things. So just rambling a little. But yeah, definitely some frustrating elements in Sekiro. I don't mind the difficulty, but there's stuff that it's like, I don't know. It's frustrating because like the I think the information too, the way that they give you information is not always very helpful. I end up looking stuff up online, which I'm just like, I'm glad I can, but I shouldn't have to for certain things. I did get the iris placement wrong. Fix that. So sorry, I'm quiet. I have a few conversations going around me, and now the kitchen is empty, so I can do the sink of the dishes. Be right back. No worries. think it's funny how we have a tendency to like emphasize the things that matter to us regardless of like what their actual size is. One of the most common mistakes that painters, well, artists in general do, and I'm just as guilty of it. Just trying to get it's the combination of the uh, sharp pattern and the, what's it called? The light and shadow pattern. That's always one of the biggest challenges because of how the light and shadow affects, the color of everything and the perception of the color. Not too bright. Crazy how that little mark made him look angry. That's all it takes sometimes. All right. Okay, I screwed that up a little bit with the details, but I'll go in and fix it. one of the things, let's see. That says, okay, I'm going to start to freak out about the commission. They still haven't gotten back to me with the prompt words. Reach out to them and, you know, make it clear that it's going to take time to do this, so they have to get back to you in time. You know, you have to communicate with them and be clear about it. I was going to say one of the things I think that's really interesting about oil painting is how it probably applies to other painting too, but in oil painting, I'll do a painting, and at different stages, it'll be like I think, oh, okay, it looks good. It looks full. It looks, you know, um, I want to say finished, but there's a lot about it that looks like good, and then you keep working on it, and you can build up so much. And it's not about layering necessarily, but you can just build up so much depth to a painting. I think is very interesting. That says I've been crocheting, waiting for inspiration. Yeah, she told the students by the middle of February, that's tomorrow, they'll email her Monday. Yeah. All right. But yeah, that's you know, one of the frustrating things about commissions can be sometimes, honestly, on both ends, both the artist and the commissioner, the frustrating part can be the people sometimes. No, that's too much. So for actually, you know what? For anyone watching this now or later, if you're watching the VOD, I have a question for you. I was talking to a friend of mine about color theory. He was telling me how difficult color theory is for him. And I don't find color theory all that difficult. But I don't mean that as a brag. I mean, like, I don't maybe understand the issues that people have with color theory because there are definitely things around color that I find challenging and difficult. Like, I don't mean it, like I said, it's not a brag. It's more that, like, I guess finding color theory difficult is such a broad way of phrasing it that I never know like what people find challenging. So I'm curious if you find color or color theory challenging, what about it is it that you find challenging? You know, is it mixing the colors? Is it knowing what colors to pick? Is it matching colors? You know, um, he comes from a background that's more in the cartoon and animation industry, and they make up a lot more stuff. A lot more stuff is, you know, made up. So it's a different color theory issues, you know. So I'm just curious. Trading with Samaj. Hey, great to see you. It's been some time. Hey, Samaj. Yeah, it's been a bit. How you doing? I have to say that yes, for me, color theory is really hard. It's just something that you either get or you don't. Well, once again, I think the issue I have with that statement is that I don't understand what the challenges are. So I'm curious, you know. Maybe it's like music theory. Oh, Des says maybe it's like music uh, theory. It's technical and very complex, but you don't need to know it to play music. Color theory is complex and intricate for those who want to study it, but it's not required to paint. I mean, once again, I, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the issue is maybe the words and the labels because it's like, what, like, I guess, what does color theory, you know, actually mean, right? Because I feel like it means different things to different people, but I could be wrong. Like, I might be so dense that I just don't even understand what color theory is altogether, right? Like, that's totally possible. I paint what I see or add a tone I want to use. Theory Sherry. Well, yeah, I get that, Des. Creating with Samaj says, I think it's something that either your brain can wrap around it or it can't. Not all things are for all folks. I know folks who love to eat they'll have no idea how to cook the foods they eat. Sure, I get that. I think Dez's approach speaks to me a little more, although it's not 100% true because I think I change colors. I mess with the colors more than Dez does in her paintings. Although not when she's doing like paintings inspired by like you know, what's it called? Oh, who is it? Van Gogh. Yeah, that's very different. But yeah, so I don't always paint exactly the colors I see clearly. So I guess that's my question. Like, is that what the issue is? Like picking the colors that you want to use? Um, because I don't know. I'm even on that. I'm pretty basic. I'm like, I want it to be redder. I want it to be warmer. Or whatever. Like, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not like super. Like, oh, I'll do this. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's where I'm coming from. Although, you know what? Okay, let me actually let me try and evaluate this a little bit differently. So I did have that painting where I was using like the Zorn palette and I tried to make it look like I was wearing a blue shirt standing in front of the ocean, even though I didn't have access to blue. I guess that would be color theory, where I'm trying to like really mess with everything in order to convince you that I'm using a blue color, that I have blue paint or that I'm doing some, like very subtle blue in here, even though I had no blue whatsoever on my palette. I guess like that I understand. And that I get. I didn't quite pull it off, but I understand that kind of color theory. But that kind of color theory, like I was also taking advantage of the fact that I was wearing like a Captain America shirt. A Captain America shirt is blue, so I'm like pre-coding you, like suggesting what colors are what, before, by using that. I don't know if that makes sense. Creative Samaj says, I personally think some folks just have more intuitive reaction to color and painting. It's a built-in gift that not everyone possesses, though something you can work towards. Oh, I definitely think it's something you can work towards, and that's why I want to know because I do want to know how to like help people, improve on it, not just be like, oh, you either got it or you don't, 'Cause I'm not a fan of that. Like, I understand that there are some things that you're, you know, more inclined towards, but there's a lot you can really, you know, uh, grow into. Not only that, sometimes the people who have to grow into it because they have to understand something more, like they have to actually learn it and not do it intuitively, can be even more proficient at things because they have to actually understand it and not just be like, well, it feels right, so I'm gonna do that, you know? But I do understand that some people are more intuitive about certain things than others, and, you definitely, like, there are some subjects that you're gonna have a leg up on other people with, but, you know, I still like to think about it. But, yeah, I guess that, like, to me, like, that color theory that I was talking about, like, my self-portrait painting, like, I get that to me, makes sense as, like, color theory. And I get that, like, I can see why that would be, like, challenging, but I don't get the feeling that everyone is thinking of it in that capacity. I can, I think it's in the rotation, but if not, I can go get that painting, I think, and show it. But yeah, like I said, I was really taking advantage of the fact that I was wearing a Captain America shirt in that, if I wasn't wearing a Captain America shirt, that painting would have been even harder. And even with it, I don't think I fully succeeded. I don't know if it's possible to fully succeed at it, but I didn't. I mean, I know I've done all those, like, weird studies where I, like, you know, I do a painting and, like, I've tried the single tone painting where you try and do a painting in like, with a single value, so everything's, like, if you turn it black and white, everything's the same value. I've done those before, and I've done what else? Like, the very limited hue paintings and the high key and low key paintings. Like, I've done all of those things, which I know have helped me understand color better, but, like, I don't know, I feel like those exercises, I don't know anybody who doesn't understand, like, what they are, it's like, so it's not like it's a don't get me wrong, I think there's a difference between understanding and, doing. I get that, but, like, conceptually, I feel like everyone pretty much understands what I was doing and what those paintings are. The only reason I say that is because some people say, like, I don't understand color theory, and I'm like, well, I mean, everyone understands what I'm talking about. May If you're not familiar with the terms, sure, but if I, show it to you, you'll understand it. It's not conceptually, it's not, like, difficult. Those were all very fun, exercises, by the way, and highly recommend anyone who's curious to try them. They're very fun, very challenging, some of them, but a lot of fun. Trying to think what other exercises like that I did. I mean, I did like the very, very compressed, which I guess to the extreme is the single value paintings, but just regular like compressed paintings too. But yeah, I did. It's funny because I did those exercises before I did the Zorn palette, before I ever used the Zorn palette, and I feel like it made the Zorn palette feel so easy to like use. Don't get me wrong, I found the Zorn palette very frustrating, but it frustrating, but not like hard. I don't know if that makes sense. I was frustrated because I didn't have my cool colors. Like I really was frustrated that I didn't have them, but it wasn't that like I didn't understand how to paint without them. I guess I tend to lean with my paints like in the cool a little more, which was, interesting to learn about myself too. And I think it's good to know your tendencies. I definitely found it frustrating to paint without blue, but honestly, also very, very frustrating to paint without like my rose, my rose colors. I am trying to think like what colors would I find the hardest to give up? White not included. White would probably be the hardest color to give up for painting, but other than white, I don't know other than white. Like, I mean, it's really hard to like just give up a whole like, part of the color spectrum. Don't know that I could do it unless I just started painting everything kind of like monochrome or duochrome or whatever. Having said that, I do really want to do some paintings with some more green and uh, like rose paintings because those are such a great color combo. I didn't think I would love it as much, but it just the uh, phthalo phthalo green and permanent rose as a like combo. Ah, it's so good. All right, 1 second. Let's see if I can find that painting I was talking about real quick. Oh, back is killing me today. Yeah, here it is. You know what? I take that back. I think I pulled it off somewhat successfully. So this painting was one I was talking about, and um, this was I'm trying to remember all the colors I had here. I don't remember if it was a full Zorn palette or not, but yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a like I don't think it shouts like bright blue, but I think when you just look at it, it's like, yeah, that's me in a blue shirt in front of the ocean, you know, at the beach. Like I think that makes sense. That says, yes, you did. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I do think that it leans heavily on the fact that it's that everyone knows that's a blue shirt, right? Like it it mentally shifts what you think is blue and realigns it for you. I think that's a huge part of it. Like if that wasn't instantly a blue shirt in your mind, I don't think it would work as well. But that's something good to like be aware of or whenever you want to, make like pull those tricks, you know what I mean? But yeah, it says I wouldn't have recognized it as blue because I don't know Captain America. Ah, really? I that like everyone knows Captain America. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that it's a maybe I'm wrong, but in my mind I'm like I feel like everyone knows Captain America. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Let me stretch my back for a second. Oh, Yeah, my back went out on me yesterday morning, and then I had like a 10-hour day at work because, of course. Des says, not a Canadian middle-aged woman. Okay, Des, okay. Oh, Dresden, I'm taking a break. Hi, Dresden. What? Oh, so cute. Okay, okay. All right, let's see. I'm debating if I want to keep working on this with right. I mean, I definitely want to keep working on this painting. There's a bunch of things that need to be, worked on. But I'm debating if I want to take a break from like the normal stuff and go in with some of the interference paints so I can see what they look like, or if I want to wait entirely till the very, very end of it. I think I should wait, but like the impatient part of me wants to just get on with it. That's why I think I should wait, because if I'm feeling impatient, I should probably resist that urge. Or maybe just a little spot so that I have an idea of what it'll look like. That might be smart too. I mean, that way I can adjust if I need to, right? So the thing about the interference paint is on regular, like not on regular, on when you put them down on black or dark stuff, they do kind of, how can I put this? They're very strange paint. So here, let me show you. When you put it down on something dark like this, right? This stuff that went on, um, kind of thin, it just looks like glittery, right? The stuff that goes on very, very thick kind of looks like cream color almost, like this right here. That's actually impasto a little bit, and it just kind of looks yellow. But then here, it's like reddish. This is the same color. It's just how, like, this is transparent and this is not, and that's why it looks like that. Um, yeah, it's very strange paint. And when you put it on white, it gets even weirder because on white or light colors, it literally like shifts between like the color and the literal opposite color. And to make matters even more weird, they sort of mix sort of like RGB lights instead of CMYK colors. Which is very confusing and like messes with my brain a lot because it's like, how do you mix yellow with RGB? Is it green and blue or is it red and green? I don't remember. I think it would be green and red. Makes sense to me. I'm not positive. Let's see here. All right. The reason I want to use interference paints, there's a few reasons. One, I think it's cool that they mix like RGB. Um, that kind of I think is very cool. I also like the way that they do shift colors kind of between like their color and their opposite color. I think that's really cool. Um, and I like the idea of making paintings that you have to see in person. As much as I like making paintings for everyone to view online, I do. I also like making the idea of making paintings that you gotta see it in person. It doesn't translate otherwise. Okay, that's annoying. Ah, hair in my eye. Crap. All right. I'll be right back. Sorry. Okay. I did not get it. I literally cannot see the hair in my eye right now, which means it's one of Dresden's. All right. How do I ban them? There we go. All right. All right. So I put out red and green. Let's see if I mix them, if it makes yellow. And to be clear, this won't make like a strong yellow. They'll make like a kind of a weak yellow. Okay, I have to look it up. I guess that's kind of yellow looking. Like I said, it's not very strong. Let me see. Um, RGB mixing. How to make yellow. Combining red and green. I was right. I'll make yellow. Wait, no. Oh, it is. Okay. All right. I was right about that. Okay. It's not a very strong yellow, which is definitely one of the limitations of the interference paint. All right. All right. But let's see what happens when it goes on like the yellowish area. It might be underwhelming from your perspective, to be fair. Very underwhelming because from my perspective too, right now, like it barely shows up. But what happens when the light isn't this exact angle? That's the question. In this case, literally almost nothing. Huh, interesting. It is so subtle. It's funny because at the right angles, I definitely can see it, but it's so, so subtle. It's basically like um, like it's definitely not something to like lean on, but rather uh, something at the end to just kind of add, and then you know, um, kind of like a small little touch because it does not stand out that much. In the dark areas, I know it will stand out, but then it's like it looks like glitter paint, and I don't want glitter paint, you know? So it's definitely something to like keep playing with for sure. I also put it on a little heavier at the very end. I can't really put it on that heavy right now, so I'll have to wait for the majority of it. But I did do some tests with it, and I have some other ideas other than this on how to use it in a way that I think will be interesting and not like itchy or gimmicky. That's the one thing I'm very, very like um aware of. I don't want it to be gimmicky. I want it to really add something and not just be like a gimmick. Like it needs to add something that I couldn't really add otherwise. If not, then I'm worried it'll feel too gimmicky. All right, let's see. Ooh, way too dark. Okay, that one definitely was the wrong color. It had too much white in the brush. That's what I get for not cleaning my brushes better. That's too bright. Definitely went overboard on that. The good thing about fur when you're like, if you do what I do and you like go overboard and you need to tone it down, the great thing is that like if you're a little messy with it, it's fine because it just reads as like, little strands of hair poking through. And so it doesn't read as like necessarily a mistake that was corrected as much as it just reads like fur. No, I'm ruining some of the glow that I had there, but it's a push and pull trying to get it. think I need to go in with my, like, what's it called? My rubber things to get, like, some of these straight edges in a little bit. Really trying to get that flow happening. There's one detail here that I'm really hoping I can capture. That's very, very subtle. We'll see if I can pull it off. But definitely the one of those details I really hope to capture in this painting, which is right here. There's some light that so there's this light right here that is shining down, and it passes through the fur like right here. I want to be able to kind of depict that very, very subtly. Mm. Okay, I totally intended to stream longer, but my back is not having it today. Oh, I need to take a break. Like I said, I pulled something in my back or had something happen in my back, and I have to really be careful with it. And I can just feel it. I can't, unfortunately, I can't push myself. I have to be, you know, responsible about this. So I'm sorry I'm ending stream early. Um, yeah, I meant to get through more, but I need a break. Take care of yourself. Thanks, Des. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I just I have to. Even if I use the stool, it doesn't give me any back support, and I just need to rest my back right now. Um, well, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll be back next weekend. Maybe I'll do a surprise stream during the week. We'll see. I'd like to. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see. This is I had sciatic pain last week and really rough few days. I get it. I know. It sucks. I wish I could do stand here and do it more. But yeah. All right. have a good one, everybody. And yeah, I will try. Hopefully, I'll have time and do another stream or something. But yeah, have a good one. Good night, everyone.